Bob Marley, One Love, now out. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Bob Marley, One Love is the newest biopic that is out now for you guys to go and check out. Now, when we watch normal biopics out there that are out right now, you normally watch them from, basically as they grow up. We see their whole life story. That's not what this biopic is about. This biopic takes place when the Jamaican Civil War is about to happen, when the two parties, the political parties, are going head to head, and there's just chaos everywhere in Jamaica. So it follows the story there with Bob Marley, where he's already pretty famous, but he hasn't hit the heights yet. So you follow that journey throughout. Now, I was really excited for this movie. This movie was in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year. And I'll tell you now, I'm not someone that's really dived into Bob's story. I have no idea. I have like bits here and there of his story, but I never really knew it. I never really dived too deep into it, and like some other people that I know about their story and stuff like that. So even though I didn't know that, I was still very excited for this. The trailers looked absolutely incredible. They looked really good. And in a time where we are right now with how the world is, I feel like the message that Bob Marley was about peace and bringing everyone together, I felt like this is the time. If you're ever going to do one and put it out, this is the time to do it because of what the position we are in this world. So I was really, really hyped for it. Now, I will say this straight off the bat. I feel like some people are not going to get as much enjoyment out of this film as others will. Now, I think if you are a huge Bob Marley fan, I think you're going to get a lot out of this. You're going to enjoy this a lot more. If you're not, I'm going to tell you now, it kind of drags on. It does. There's moments where this film does drag, and you're sitting there and you're like, what are you trying to tell at times? That's what you're trying to figure out. And I feel like if you know more about Bob Marley, you're going to get a lot more out of it. So just be warned. I'm just warning you now. It does do that. But for me, even though I wasn't a fan and didn't know much about him or anything like that, I only knew about his music and what he stood for and everything like that. I really enjoyed this film, and I really enjoyed the message that it was trying to tell with Bob Marley. One of the most reassuring things was the start, where they had Ziggy Marley on beforehand, the son of Bob Marley, who reassured us all that they were on set. They made sure that they told this story as accurate as possible to his father. And that, to me, as someone that doesn't know much about Bob Marley, reassured me that, okay, they are treating this with the utmost respect. They are treating this as accurate as possible. The portrayal is going to be as anyone else could do. So for me, that was a huge relief to see that and to hear that, and that sold me straight away. But as we get into this, now, it's a biopic, so there's not really any character development that we're going to talk about or anything like that. But this movie does fall on the shoulders of Bob Marley and his wife. And I tell you what, the performances of Kingsley, who plays Bob Marley, he was in Secret Invasion. I thought he was great in Secret Invasion. And then he was in Barbie, and he was great in that as well. But in this movie, he was fantastic. He really captured and brought Bob Marley to life in this movie. And his performance was so... what's the word I'm looking for? It was so, affectionate that made you want to, like, continue watching him. He just felt like I was watching Bob Marley. It felt like I was like, okay, I believe this person is Bob Marley. I believe what he is saying, he believes 100%. So that is a credit to him. He really carried this film on his shoulders and delivered a performance that made you feel like this was authentic and it was 100% right. Now, I'll tell you now, with the accents and stuff like that, some people are going to find it hard to understand and hear every word, and I totally understand that because accents can be very hard to distinguish different words and what's happening. I found little bits here and there that I kind of missed because of the accent and the way that, it's told and how it's spoken. I know with my accent, because I'm Australian, sometimes when I say something, it's completely different to what an American would say or an English person would say, or, any other country. So I understand the barrier with that, and I get it. Some people aren't going to be able to understand. So maybe watch it with subtitles. You might, get more out of it. But I felt like the performance and the accent was right. I felt like it was a Jamaican person 100% all the time. Latasha Lynch, she was incredible in here as well, playing Bob Marley's wife. And what I love is it showcased you the relationship between them and how much she was really his rock. Whenever things went wrong for him, she was always there. She was like the North Star that he would find and that would help guide him through the tough times. Now, this isn't a story that is like, full of roses and fairy tales and fantasy and happy and all that. It's pretty tragic of what happens and the death and destruction that does happen over in Jamaica during this time period. And it also showcased you the mental state that Bob was going through with having to deal with almost being killed. And now what do I do? Like trying to rediscover himself in life itself and trying to discover his purpose, almost rediscover that again. And that's what this movie is all about. It's about him rediscovering that passion, that fire to really bring peace to everyone else again. So I really enjoyed that. The whole cancer stuff. Now, I know there's conspiracy theories out there about Bob Marley's death, and they touch on it with the cancer stuff in here. It's not like a huge amount of the movie. It's kind of mentioned, and then it's kind of, just hindering there. It's towards the end of the film. So if you're looking to see that sort of story arc, that's not in here. The main story arc is watching him rise to fame and then going back to Jamaica to play that big concert that reunites everyone together, that brings that unity. And I think the message of the film to bring peace and to, stop the violence, I think it's a great message because there is so much of that going on now in today's society. And it doesn't feel like it's going to get any better. It just feels like it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So I feel like this is a type of movie with a message like that that really needed to be told. Because there's just so much death and destruction now that it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. The cinematography was great. I really loved it. I love the use of the music, of Bob Marley's music as well. I felt like that was very strong. And it just adds to the message as well. So I really enjoyed it. Some people might not enjoy it as much. But hey, I think it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. I would go back and watch it again. I really would. And the performances alone of Lynch and Kingsley were absolutely superb. So let me know what you guys thought. If you guys have seen it, smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button, click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.